This week's Legends in Their Own Right focuses on LDs that I have never used. Okay, with the exception of Hopper, who I used once, but it was so long ago that I don't remember how it went. I have my reasons for not using these cards. It's, because of this being the technical stuff, it's mostly stat-based. So I'm still trying to keep it balanced in terms of pros and cons, but there may be a bit more on the con side. Please feel free to, if there's anything that you feel could redeem any of these girls in terms of stats, please tell me, because, just because. Anyway, let's get on with things. Who is Sylvia LD? What is she? Well, in this game, she's a 3-star berserk with backlash minus 3 life, minimum 2. I'm going to be straight here. It's that backlash. With Sylvia, it's all about that backlash, and it's a real shame, because if it was tamer or she had a different ability, I might use her. She has the weakest power of the backlash cards, and yet she has the 3, whereas Bernie, Beef and Cortez, they only have the 2, with the Mexican having a minimum of 4 as opposed to a minimum of 2 like the rest. 6/6 for a 3-star is in no way overpowered, and before you say it's questionable because of that bonus, Beef. He has 1 more star, but only 1 more power and the same damage, and he only takes 2 of your own life. If you ask me, they tried too hard in making sure that Sylvia wasn't overpowered. However, this backlash of 3 could have one advantage, alongside Bernie and Beef with their minimum of 2. If the situation is right, you could cheat a couple of defeat cards out of their ability, or stop a previous assault of poison dead in its tracks. Hey, I'm just trying to find a silver lining amongst the clouds here. Definitely consider Lola above her, as her ability opposite. Her 4 damage isn't too much to sacrifice, and as long as SOA isn't active, you could be spending time gaining 3 life instead of losing it. Uma's revenge ability as well. That will leave you with a potential 7/8 and no harm to life whatsoever. And then from one biker chick to another, we have Hopper LD, the 4-star Jungo with minus 2 op life minimum 1. Now, despite me not using her, I can see her appeal. A 4-star Brag with 1 more power. Yes, 2 less damage, but what do you expect? She's 4 and not 5 stars. I would rather take the 7-powered 4-star than the 6-powered 5-star. Plus, in bluffing situations, once again, as I said with Lola to Sylvia, it's 4 damage is not too much to sacrifice. However, I think with me, it's because I'm not very aggressive when it comes to playing Jungo, unlike Fang Pai or La Junta, where it's like, shove every powerhouse in there, quick! I prefer to use more defensive 4-star when it comes to Jungo, like Neva, Benicio, Eggman, who all have similar powers and the same 4 damage, but I feel their abilities work more flexibly within my deck strategies. Since I don't have an awful lot to say about Hopper, I would like to bring up a point. I often wonder whether cards would become overpowered with a single stat point change, and with Hopper, well, minus 2 op life minimum 0, why would that be considered overpowered? I mean, you have Kazayan of the uppers. He's a 7/4 like her, a 4-star. He's minus 3 op life minimum 0, and he's got that deadly uppers bonus. If you ask me, Hopper got screwed. And then came Naja LD, the 3-star La Junta with power equals power op. Okay, 5 power on a PPO isn't too shabby. Obviously for use against powerhouses, but susceptible to being messed around with by your opponent. Still, the bonus is there, which means at least 7 damage, which isn't too shabby at all for a 3-star, La Junta or not. However, there is one reason I don't use her, and I'm sure a few of you were thinking of her already. Her name is Laura. Her damage equals damage op counterpart. Now, the fact that you can pull some pretty bluff-tastic one-hit KOs with her is more than enough reason for me to use her above Naja, though the opponent had crushed me with Laura when I realised this. But back to Naja. That 5 power, she suffers the same from Bella LD. Faced with SOA, and 5 power isn't really cutting it for a 3-star. But once again, bonus. Extra damage is never to be sniffed at, especially when it's damage that DDO can't take advantage of. The Junta bonus +2, your opponent won't get that. Unless your opponent's using Laura, but that's another thing. But it's not just Laura who is Naja's competition though. I know a lot of players who would use the likes of Wyatt and Trish before her, and some other 3-stars as well that I probably don't use because I'm all out aggressive. I'm sorry, I am trying to find some good things to say about these girls, but when their stats leave much to be desired, yeah. And then we have Lois LD, the 4-star of the Pussycats, with Revenge -3, Op Power -4. Now, Revenge, it has saved my arse many a time, but a 4-star 6/6 with a power reduction that only activates upon someone losing. I would probably say the same about Aniki if it wasn't for the fact that he is an attack manipulation and all Lois has is damage to her name, and let's face it, the Pussycats, you don't really kill the Pussycats if you stop their bonus. But yeah, Lois. When there's other power manipulators in her clan with lower minimums and less stars, Noemi, then those stats, the 6/6 isn't really anything special. Unlike the LDs in this ep, or the last 2 eps, I've never seen anyone use her in a fight. Either I just don't face a lot of Pussycats, or that is saying something about Lois. Okay, power reduction is never anything to scoff at, but I feel that if you're playing Lois just for that power reduction and you get bitch slapped by SOA, you're going to start wishing that you'd won that last round. There are tons of 4-stars that you will want to use before you even consider her. I'll just name a few. You've got Lianah and Jen if you want to play around with that life. Lianah for the plus and Jen for the minus. Veronica, if you want to start playing around with some pills manipulation. I mean, what? -2 pills minimum 1, that is a good ability. And Holly, if you want a pretty strong courage card. Oh, can I stop talking about Lois now? Give your thoughts about her in the comments if you will, but I really think she's no good stats wise. Man, I think she got screwed more than Hopper. And last but not least is Lianah LD, 3-star Uluwatu with -8 op attack -3. Wait, did I just say not least? I've heard a lot of people say a lot of bad stuff about her, but let's just push that aside for a moment. Being an Uluwatu with a Sacron bonus can have its advantages. In low pill bouts with pesky uppers, Sacron, and similar attack manipulators, you're gonna have at least a decent chance of winning due to star count and that low manipulation. However, 6-3 stats. You already have the likes of Kirk, Douglas, Felicia, pawning her on power, and Felicia stops opponents' bonuses in their tracks. Well, most of the time there is SOA out there. I'm going to quote Highwind from Liana's comment page. She could really be 20% cooler if she had 4 damage. Whereas I wouldn't go as far as quoting the likes of Rainbow Dash. I'd feel more inclined to use her. That's Lianah, not Rainbow Dash, since even though the 6 power still remains, she'd be on damage par with like Douglas and Gaia. Why do I keep mentioning Douglas? I don't even use him. But now I'm thinking it should be 1 less star, because you have Mr. Tago. Now, he has the same ability, but only 1 less damage, and taking up 1 less star when you're considering modes like ELO and all that. All I know about this girl is that she has got a lot of stick, and she still gets a lot of it. Okay, proposal. I'm hoping to do an Uluwatu deck in the near future. This girl is going in, just to see how she fares. It was actually difficult to put these girls in an order, but I think I've done it. Hopper is definitely at the top because of that, life take ability, her own life gain bonus, and that minimum of 1. Quite similar to why Gail was at the top last episode, because she has that minimum of 0, even though she is confidence based. Then for the other 4, it was more who was the best of a bad bunch. I've decided that for me, it goes Naja, then Lianah is above Lois because it's attack manipulation and you don't need to revenge. Then you have Lois, and then I'm sorry, strictly for that backlash and the fact I don't think it should be that much. Sylvia. If Sylvia was a 2-2, I probably wouldn't be putting her at the bottom of the list. But yeah, that's how the order goes. Next week's episode of Legends in Their Own Right is episode 4 and the penultimate episode of the series. Next week and the week after we'll have 4 LDs each because I have 8 left to talk about. Unless UR trolls us and gives us a leader LD, it probably won't happen, but stranger things have happened in the game. Next week I am referring to the quartet as they're in their clan decks no matter what. They are Futoshi of the Fang Pai, Tiwi of the Frozen, Travis of the Junks, and Valentina of the Sentinel. And I will see you next week as always for the next episode of Legends in Their Own Right. The next gameplay shall be the Uluwatu deck with the I want to say Nalia since it's a mother, with the Lianah proposal that I gave earlier. And I will see you then. Sayonara.